Okay, we're going to start on the side of the paper that has the 5 boxes all the way down with the equations on the left side. So we have a graph of 3x plus 5 and 3x minus 4. And the first part asks for the slope of each one. So remember, the slope in my equation is right here. So they're both 3. And it says, what do you notice about the slopes? Well, I notice that the slopes are the same. And the graph, I have 2 lines that are not touching, so they're parallel. So your answer should say 3, 3, same, parallel. The next one, I have a slope of 2 and a slope of -1/2. These slopes have opposite signs and they're reciprocals. Remember, a reciprocal is a flipped fraction. So the whole number 2 is the same as 2 over 1. So if I flip it, I get 1 over 2. So the slopes are opposite. This handwriting. Opposite reciprocals. And the graphs come together at a 90-degree angle. Those are called perpendicular. So we have 2 -1/2 opposite reciprocals and perpendicular. The next one, I have a 4 and I have a 1 over 4. So in this case, the slopes are reciprocals and the graphs just intersect. They're not parallel, they're not perpendicular, they just intersect. So I have reciprocals, but they just intersect. Your next one, you have a slope of -1/3 and +1/3. So these are opposites, but they also just intersect. Which means in order for it to be perpendicular, they have to be opposites and reciprocals to make it perpendicular. If they're just one of those two things, then they just intersect. And then your last one, we have y equals -2, which means that it's a horizontal line that goes through -2, and that slope is 0. Then you have x equals 2. So that's a vertical line going through x equals 2, and that line has a slope of undefined. So where it says, what do you notice about the slopes? We have a 0 and an undefined, which makes them perpendicular. So the graph is perpendicular, the slopes are 0 and undefined, and they're perpendicular. If you flip to the back, we have kind of a summary sheet, you could say. So we need to label the top one as parallel. Go away. Go away. Okay, parallel. And the bottom as perpendicular. And then our description, we need to know that parallel lines are 2 lines that don't cross. Well, they never cross. And then the characteristics we need to know about them is that they have the same slope. And as an example, we can use these 2 lines as examples. So one of those lines has a y-intercept of 5, and the other has a y-intercept of -4. And then if we count the slope, it goes up 2 to the right 3. So that would be 2/3 x plus 5. And then 2/3 x minus 4. So there's our example. The second one, the perpendicular, a description would be intersect right angle. Characteristics, remember those slopes is opposite reciprocal. And we're going to write the equations of these two lines as our example. So let's do that light purple one first. So y equals, I'm going down 3 to the right 2. So negative 3 over 2x plus 7. Is that right? 2, 3 over 2. No. Let's try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. So that is not correct. Down 4 to the right 3. So what I did to double check was I did the slope again to make sure I got back to the line, and I did not. So I go down 4 to the right 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and I'm back to the line. And then the dark blue line, since these are perpendicular, the slope should be an opposite reciprocal. So if I write 3/4 x and then minus 1 for that y-intercept, that means I should be able to go up 3 to the right 4 and get to my blue line. Up 3 to the right 4 and get to the blue line. So I did. And so that's all for your notes. And as just a quick little wrap up, this is something that you would actually have to be able to do. So I give you a graph, and I want to determine the slope for the line that is parallel to the function and then perpendicular to the function. So it's all about the slope. So this slope goes up 2 to the right 3. So the slope of this line is 2/3. So if I want a parallel slope, it would be 2/3. If I want a perpendicular slope, it would be negative 3 over 2. And so that's what you're going to have to be able to do. So be sure you go and do your feedback form, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.